before we jump to editing, I'll just pause because I think Ramon, you got a question about it.
When you go to Otana and it's for a kid throwing a baseball, because there was no previous baseball throwing animations, does that get stored in the library for other people to use? Or is every time that a user generates an animation a new addition to the existing library, or is the existing library a curated library of animations?
Yeah, good question. Our existing library is all mocap data. You're going to get high quality stuff. If we generate, we don't actually then put that back in the library. Maybe if like we decide it's a really good motion, we might borrow it, but no, that's not the intent.
Okay.
What you generate in your private library within Uthana.
I see. Just out of curiosity.
Yeah. Synthesis. Now let's go to editing because this is where it gets fun. When we think about editing, we think about the job of the animator and how do we accelerate that animator. In particular, it's what are the things that might be boring or tedious. A good example is stitching two motions together. Maybe I'm blending in 3 different angles of a run to the same idle pose. Or maybe I need to stitch together a particular attack that's in game to a cinematic so that I have that nice blend in my game or the transition from gameplay to cinematic. This is something that's AI is really good at. We can train a model to forget certain frames of motion and learn how to infill them. Then we can say, okay, model, now I'm going to give you 2 different motions that you've never seen before, and I want you to infill between them. When the model gets really good at that, it creates seamless motion. That's not just interpolation, but it's frames. That's what we call motion stitching. We're getting to a territory of frame creation that would have been on the burden of the animator. Not to say it's going to be perfect. It's like still something you want to create, export, and then tweak and modify and get the perfect look that you want. We're trying to go to 90%. So that's just one example. Thoughts on that? And they're like, how do we analogize image or some other domain?
Yeah, actually, so I am of the camp that what all these models are really doing is really fancy interpolation, as in, yeah, they're overfit to the brim. It's not like they're generating brand new human knowledge. They store all of this information in their weights and then interpolate, not in a naive way, but in a clever way in between the data set. I think this is true for LLMs.
2D video, I think, is the same way. It's like if I have a first frame and last frame of a 2D video, and it's like, well, where did I learn all that stuff? I learned it from the millions of videos I watched.
Yeah. So for me, what is interesting is you're talking about interpolation and infilling, and it sounds to me that it's the perfect job for this type of models because infilling, interpolating is